I started with nothing. My wife and I began this construction company out of our basement back almost 40 years ago. So I've had to work my entire life. Nothing's been given to me. And so I understand the plight of working Americans and how hard it is to kind of make things add up at the kitchen table. Make sure that you can, take your kids on vacation. Make sure you can still put groceries on the table. You can pay the heating bill, pay the rent bill. And so it's just, Americans are feeling stretched right now and very insecure. And so that's why my candidacy makes a lot of sense for Colorado. We need some new policies in place that'll help working Americans. And that's why I'm running this race. I'm a fourth generation Coloradan. I grew up here southeast Denver. I was there before there were a lot of paved roads, mostly field and cattle. My dad and mom were loving. I mean, I was adopted. They took us in and they gave us a great childhood, gave us a great upbringing. My dad truly believed that education was the key to success for people, and so he ingrained that in us. But he also ingrained in us respect for law and order. As a cop's son, you're constantly worried about embarrassing your dad because you know if you do something out of line, the wrath will follow you. I think the other thing that growing up in a cop's house really gives you a sense of is how dangerous that job is. I can remember going to sleep as a 5 or 6 year old kid and wondering, whether or not your dad was going to come home from his job. I transferred from a public school to an all-boys Catholic school. Met my wife about that time, chased her on up to Colorado State University. When I got out of high school, I took 3 years off. I started an apprenticeship right out of my junior year in high school. I was a union carpenter for 3 or 4 years. I've got most of my construction management degree. I got an academic scholarship. I made the dean's list, straight A's first semester, and after that, they paid part of my school. I dropped out because I didn't want to pay for another semester of tuition. I needed to get to work. I just decided that, I'll get to it later. Later never happened. The business started and, when you're working 80, 100 hours a week on your business, you don't have time to do a paper or those kind of things. Most of us that are entrepreneurs have started our own businesses. We get up 4 o'clock in the morning. I would do payroll, make sure I keep track of the time for the guys. I would pay any bills that I needed before I left the house. I was usually on the job site by 6 a.m. and I was there till 7 at night. And then when I get home, maybe I had time for a little bit of dinner, say hi to my wife, hit the hay by 9:30, 10 and get up and do it again. I can remember several Sundays that I worked on changing an engine out of a loader or out of a truck. Because we couldn't afford mechanics. My partner and I did it ourselves. You got to be tough enough to weather the storm, and we've been through 3 recessions, so I've seen all sides of the construction industry. We built a great group of people. I'm very proud of the work that we've done across the state, and I'm very proud of the team that I've been able to put together. You just get up every morning and do the best you can, and that's how you're successful. I know how it is to negotiate with customers, both Democrats and Republicans, to have a great outcome for projects that we've been in charge of. And that skill set makes me uniquely qualified to do the job of a U.S. Senator. That gives me a significant advantage over Senator Bennet.